Habarigani, Habarigani, Habarigani. It is the second night of Kwanzaa. Habarigani, your response should be Kujichagulia, Kujichagulia. Habarigani, Kujichagulia. Habarigani, Kujichagulia, Kujichagulia. Self-determination. And in line with that principle for tonight, put this here, I'm playing Nas's I Know I Can Be What I Want to Be. Certainly it'll take a little bit of a push given where we are in the world, but that's always been the battle and the challenge in front of us as a people, but we do persevere and we make strides and we move forward. Let's set the table for Kwanzaa. I have the mkeka, which is the mat. It's here somewhere. Mkeka. Can you see that? And the mkeka, again, serves as the foundation. It is a mat. Should be handmade and handcrafted. Let's next have the zawadi. 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 Find the best way to hold it for you. Maybe there. Zawadi. And the zawadi are handmade gifts given to children during Kwanzaa. It recognizes and celebrates their accomplishments from the year, and also gives them motivation to do well moving forward, right? There we go. These are just books. Let's have next the muhindi or vabunzi. Put this here. Muhindi, vabunzi. And these ears of corn represent children, those who exist and those to come. Put this here. I like that. Okay. Next, let's have nope, I don't want that one yet. I want this one, the mazeo. The mazeo represent the harvest. We have fruits and vegetables, things that come from harvesting, and they should be natural. We certainly want to be mindful of things that give us life and sustenance. Mazeo. Next, let's have the kikombe cha umoja. Kikombe cha umoja. The kikombe cha umoja is the unity cup. Put it here. And ideally everything fits on the mat. I'm trying my best here. Next, we will have, how about our kanara? And I found my base. Take these out. Kanara. Kinara. Place this here. The kanara, atop of the kanara is the Mashuma Saba. And the Mashuma Saba are the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. They are represented by 7 candles. And our 7 candles are the colors of the Bendera ya Taifa, which I forgot to bring up. Here it is. Bendera ya Taifa, the red, black, and green flag, Pan-African flag, created by Marcus Garvey, who wanted to give his people a representation. All nations have a flag, and this flag represents the blackness of people, our black skin, bloodshed in that liberation and movement forward, and the green representing the land that we do harvest, the land from which life is necessary, and prosperity is also symbolic of that. Okay, so the Mashuma Saba, 7 candles. Black is in the middle first, and we lit that last night for unity, Umoja. Then there are 3 green candles on the right and 3 red candles on the left. Whoops. Okay. So last night I gave myself a bit of a scare, so I'm not going to use flame. Nothing major, but it was enough to kind of unsteady me. So I'm going to modify, and this is what I did in the classroom with students. I'm going to use paper flames. So we would light the first candle, our unity candle, black flame. That's why I'm not using flames. Okay, and then tonight we start with the left candle, the red candle for Kujichagulia Self-Determination. Okay, a bit about that. Self-determination, Kujichagulia. It is provided to encourage us to name, define, create, and speak for ourselves instead of being defined, named, created for, and spoken for by others. Self-determination shapes our belief that we are responsible for our destiny in life and helps us to understand that we are our greatest resource, and we certainly are. As history has taught us, we cannot expect from others what we must provide for ourselves. Kujichagulia instills in us a sense of independence and self-sufficiency. I'll share some of the quotes in a bit. Some other information, and again, I talked about the children's literature because it's easy to read, it's quick, and it's pretty thorough. So again, the second principle, Kujichagulia. Yeah, I think that is it. That's why I'm not using the flames. Okay, that's it for Kujichagulia from that piece. Last night, as I was preparing for today, I went through my box. I talked to you about my box that was in the basement with all of my Kwanzaa materials and things that I used when I was in the classroom. And I found 2 cards. These are not from the classroom, but it just speaks to where people were in their celebration and connection. So one card is from some friends from church, Ronnie and Tobias Cowens, and they sent a Kwanzaa card, right? How cool is that? Really nice. It says, as we celebrate Kwanzaa in our special way, give thanks to our ancestors for paving the way. Rejoice and be proud of those we hold dear. Have a wonderful, bountiful, prosperous new year. And it includes the principles on the inside too. So I'm going to set that here. And another card. I cried a little bit when I saw this. It's from my dearly departed soror, Sherry Mack. Today, as we celebrate our heritage with the special traditions of Kwanzaa, let the Nguzo Saba be an inspiration that continues throughout the year. And these Nguzo Saba are the 7 principles. The Ushuma Saba represent the candles reflecting the 7 principles. 2 other things I wanted to say. So again, I found this hat in my bin as well when I was going through my bucket hat phase. But this print was just really fire. Some of you may recognize this as a Kente pattern. It is not Kente cloth because it is not woven, but it takes on the cloth pattern. Just want to read a little bit about Kente. When I was exposed to this, again, during my trip to Kenya, I think when I went to Cote d'Ivoire, that was the second trip, I was looking for this, and it was hard to find, and I was told that men primarily wear this. Don't know how true that is, but that's what was told to me. So again, this is called Kente cloth. It's a hand-woven arrangement. There goes the fire. Let's see here. Designed to reflect the history, ethics, and religious beliefs of the West African people. I lost my other flame. Oh, here it is. Okay. It is reflective of the Asante culture from Ghana, and is woven. The original patterns were made out of rafa, which is a type of heavy straw. It says from a palm tree. And some of the early beliefs, or a bit of the history, is that the weavers began trying to tell a story about, it says here, an old man named Ota Caravan and his friend Kwaku Arnawa. They learned to weave by watching a spider weave its web. They then wove rafa strands like a spider did. Starting in the 12th century CE, the Asante people began to use materials to weave kente. The cloth was considered royal and worn by special figures on particular occasions. So it would be worn, again, not for every day, right, but for special occasions. It does say in this piece that today we've certainly taken on that just to be reflective of our culture and our identity. Then there are different messages about the colors and what the colors would symbolize. And I think that's the piece that's there. So let's see, blue representing peace and harmony, green, good health, yellow for wealth and energy. I'm going to say yellow and orange kind of in their same family. Don't have any zigzag patterns. Rectangles symbolizing territorial power under male rule. Very heavily patriarchal societies. The other two things I wanted to say with regard to self-determination, a few years ago I wrote two pieces. One is published in 2010, called Wait a Minute Before You Call Me Black. And I'll just read the abstract. Wait a minute before you call me black challenges the definition of culture. In particular, this inquiry examines the cultural alchemy of blackness through a personal meta-narrative. Just means me writing about me. Much of contemporary society associates blackness with people of African descent. However, the term is not ahistorical, means it has history. Blackness as a word, description, and concept has connections to people of European and Asian descent. A connection that rests in 19th century immigration of their ancestors to America, the United States. 200 years later, people of European and African descent have been able to transcend their blackness, while people of African descent remain within its realm. And I certainly am happy to be, and I do define and call myself Black. And with that, I'm reminded of what's coming on now, this acronym BIPOC. The first time I heard it, I didn't know what it was. And then a few iterations later, I thought, I don't particularly like that, and I'm not going to define myself BIPOC, right? Self-determination, because I'm not BIPOC, I'm Black. And better still, my name is Danae, so you can call me by my name, but not BIPOC, all right? The other piece I want to share with you is something that I wrote, what year was this? 2009. It's called Being in the Minority is My Circumstance, Not My Identity. Again, naming oneself, defining oneself. And minority is a term that really just kind of gets at me, because I'm not less than, I'm not minuscule, I'm not minor, I'm major, right? So don't call me minority. And that's what this piece is about. Let me just read to you some of the abstract. Among scholars, practitioners, politicians, and the media, the term minority is often used to refer to people of color, human beings of African descent and Asian descent. However, the etymology of the term minority means a smaller part, or a smaller number, or an amount forming less than half of the whole. Minority also suggests diminution, minor. To say that people are in the minority because they are not part of a racial, ethnic, or political majority in the United States is accurate. Somebody is in the minority. But it is inappropriate to use a group's statistical representation as a euphemism for their identity. And that's what I argue in the paper. So basically, again, it's saying not to use the word minority. I can't tell you what to do, but just don't call me a minority. Okay? So I think that's it for tonight. Again, Habaragani, Kujichagulia, Self-Determination. You can be what you want to be. It certainly will take a bit of work. And if you think about last night's or the first night principle of unity and working together, we certainly can and have a better opportunity to move forward and make progress and define our own destination and journey. So, yes, I'll leave you with that. Be well.